Oh shit.
What's up, crew? We are out here.
Ladies,
It's like a flock of seagulls.
ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
We're back.
That's right. Episode number 26, featuring our good buddy Restraint over here.
Wow.
Thank you.
Also known as Juan.
Juan the DJ.
John.
As many of you know, but some don't know, this is the Producer Lounge. It's a podcast brought to you by Always 400, and it's a podcast about music production. What a surprise, hence the name. So here we are to talk to you guys about production wonderfulness. I don't think that's a word,
Tidbits.
but I'm going with it.
It is now. We're using it.
Fucking
Audio
is now,
bites.
bro. God damn
Audio
it.
bites, sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Audio Files Anonymous over here.
I like that.
Go.
I like that.
AFA.
I wonder who
Yeah.
who really came up with the idea of calling themselves an audiophile.
Some giant nerd. Even bigger nerd
Were they
than
nerdy
us.
or were
They-
they just like self-righteous?
Horny about audio is what they were.
Right, right.
They're trying to fuck all the audio.
Basically.
Audio Fuckers Anonymous.
Audiophilia?
Audiophilia. Yep, that's exactly right. They fuck speakers.
Audiophilia.
They're like, oh, this tweeter is so tight.
Oh my god, these function ones?
We could call actually this episode audiophilia. That's pretty good.
Audiophilia? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Audiophiliacs Anonymous?
Yeah, Audiophiliacs Anonymous. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
I like it.
Spelling would be interesting. And anyways, our guest today is, as we said before, Restraint. John, go ahead and introduce yourself if you want.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Caleb, and
problem.
all you fine folks. I've been making music for a while, and I mean, I've been on the show again.
Yes.
I mean,
You have?
Oh yeah,
it's been great.
Oh yeah, they're familiar.
Love with yeah.
They should be.
They better be.
If they're an
Um,
actual fan,
Yeah.
I mean,
Every time people say the word fan, I think of an actual fan.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Like
of big-ass
a
fans.
if they
fan.
are an actual fan, then they obviously know who Restraint is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I actually finally redid I'd gotten my new subwoofers, and I got everything mostly tuned last night.
Yep. The last time we had you on, we were talking all about acoustics and
Yep.
getting your room set up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
been
go
a
back
journey.
and find it if you want to listen to
It's-
all that. There's some nugs in there.
Folks.
I'm just going to say that much.
It's on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've been through a bit of a roller coaster ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I blew the subs,
Yeah.
which
Sure did.
that being said,
He's
there's
a bass producer, guys. What do you want from him?
I will say there's a lot of different things that can go wrong with a subwoofer. Like blowing a speaker in general, it's not just like what does that denote when a speaker's blown? It's really, I think, any component of it has failed, right?
Yeah, because you blew it too hard.
Yeah. It's been blown.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
Fellatio.
Sorry, my mind is in the gutter, dude. Yeah.
Get your
It's
mind
an
out
adult
of, get your mind out of
podcast.
the bass trap.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
my
nice.
dick, actually. That was in the bass trap. It's,
It's because we're blowing
Back to
speaker-
the
fucking
audiophiliacs. All right. But yeah, it's so there's a component. There's different pieces of a sub or of a speaker.
Sure.
okay.
In particular with larger drivers. The driver is the actual unit, right? The whole
Right.
thing
Right.
all
the
put
whole,
together.
Yep. Exactly.
There's the cone,
Mm-hmm.
which is apparent. There's a cap that sits on the front of it. There's the voice coil, which is the main driving piece of the unit.
Right. That's on the back of the cone.
Exactly. That's the giant magnetic kind of component that's actually making it move. And then there's a piece in between all that called the spider.
Caleb, will you pull up like an image of
Yeah, you should.
pull up the
speaker
diagram.
deconstructed or something?
I had to figure out what the hell this piece was called because this is the thing. I started hearing a rattling. Initially it was just a small like overtone or some like tiny bit of distortion. It slowly grew over the time that I was using it, and yeah, that's great. Spider, and it's always called a spider, at least on larger drivers. I think for smaller ones like tweeters, they don't need this amount of complexity, but you see that right there in the middle. The spider's the guy that flexes.
This is a professional show, guys.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah. I can try to like point to it. Yeah, you guys can see. I mean, clearly there's a picture that says what it is. It's that part. Nice.
What it
Just
is.
moved me over
It's that
to
part.
the spot.
You should be bouncing, man.
We'll just go there so
Yeah,
that they can
there's
see
a
all the
pointer
words.
to the spider right there.
Yeah. So that's the part that actually failed on mine, and it was just cracking. And I can only think of a couple things.
Okay.
I talked to the company.
Interesting.
Oh, I remember you sending me a picture of that.
It's like a shock.
That's what you sent me a picture.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shock.
Absorber
Its whole
or like,
purpose is to keep the speaker as centered as
Right.
possible.
right. It's
Right.
putting pressure on all
Exactly.
on the whole
It's
diameter.
The tension around it equally is what's keeping it centered, because otherwise,
yeah, it's pushing against the basket. if
Oh,
you
yeah.
will.
yep. Well, it's technically it's not necessarily pushing; it's actually pulling it in every direction.
Oh.
It's tension
Okay.
pulling it away, like from
Alright.
yeah.
Right. It's pulling
Oh.
it towards the basket.
Yes,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
other side is yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
That makes sense. That would keep it better.
well,
in
if you
center
didn't
than
if you
it
didn't
was
have
pushing.
that. If you didn't have that, it would just stick. You know, what's stopping it from just literally touching the magnet and being stuck on it?
Right.
So
exactly.
they had to have. That's also what the purpose of the suspension is. You know, on the outside,
Sure.
that,
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
yeah.
surround.
right.
But yeah, I mean, essentially, that's the part that started to crack, and I could hear like a small like overtone, and over time, it started to get more like rattly and like it had more of that kind of a tone, like higher pitches that you know that that's not supposed to be making.
Right.
I talked to the company that made it, is Rhythmic Audio. They're a great manufacturer. I think the difference was, in my case, I needed more pressure in the room because my studio is large. It is a lot longer, and
Yeah,
it's in a
definitely
basement
long.
with like lots of space. And I'm not
Lots
like
of L's.
yeah, lots of just yeah. It's a big space. So in order to get what I really wanted, and I kind of like that led me down the journey of understanding like what in my particular case, what kind of subwoofer like can I find one that will actually meet my needs. And I did. And I actually just went with a company called SVS. I got two SVS SB 3000s. But
Yeah, you got two, which is really interesting.
yeah,
man.
stereo subs, man.
Stereo sub.
If you ever
Yeah,
go
baby.
with subwoofers, seriously. And now when people hear the word stereo sub, it's not because I'm actually trying to get stereo signal. I will say that putting your subs closer to where your speakers are coming from will help with melding the signal together so that your ears aren't, because like the thing that you got to fight once you get a subwoofer and you want to implement it or integrate it into your system, you don't want it to like be as noticeable to the person listening to the music. You don't necessarily want them to be like, there's a sub. You want them to just hear the whole soundstage as one piece,
Right. Sure.
So when you have one sub,
Specifically, even more so, you want to not have to
Yeah.
be only hearing a sub,
yeah,
recognizing the difference.
yeah. And the challenge here is, yeah,
It's a
that's it
sexy
right
ass
there.
sub right there.
Which
It
one did
really
you get?
is.
Did you get the
Uh,
black ash?
I just got the ash partially because I didn't want more reflective
Dude,
surfaces.
yeah, I was gonna say
and
go
fingerprint
wood.
magnet.
Yeah, wood grain is so steezy.
Looks
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah, and what I know about wood and acoustics, it would be preferred
Oh, I've heard you know a lot about
There-
for
wood.
less reflective.
Maybe a little bit, but I think it's maybe a small factor. I mean, it's
Sure, it's not gonna play a huge
They're
role,
both-
but everything a little bit every
under the
little bit
hood.
matters.
Both of those are, I think, like MDF.
Yeah,
Like just like super. Like that's how they make all cabinets typically. I mean, not when you get into functions and other things. There's like some crazy materials they'll build.
and it's got a
speakers
fun
out of.
app,
Dude. That app is half like the other reason why I was like, this is sick. I get 3 parametric EQ nodes that I can program into the sub itself. And
Wild.
when I combine,
Super wild.
Yeah. So and it's actually surprisingly
Doing
easy to use.
EQing on your subs.
Yeah.
Room EQing on your subs.
Yes.
So sick.
So I've been using Room EQ Wizard just like before.
Yeah.
And with the MiniDSP box, I can like solo just the subs, do my sweeps. And then before I actually start implementing the EQ correction into the MiniDSP, I do it on the phone first to tackle like the most aggressive, either like nulls
Sure.
or
Yeah.
peaks that I need to take care of. And it worked perfectly. It literally was. I was amazed how like,
Hell yeah.
easily it was. Easily
That's
I was able
crazy.
to do it. And the cool thing is, it gives me like it's when you use SonarWorks, you're kind of it's nice to not have to deal with a lot of the math, or not math, but like the nitpicky pieces. I mean, I was telling you the other day how many files that I have that you end up having to like wrangle while you're sitting there trying to set all this stuff up. I mean, because there's like, you have to export EQ graphs for every single sound source you have. You have to export filter settings. You then also have to like, you want to back up the config of everything you're programming, because I found out the hard way with MiniDSP, at least this one, if I moved computers and I didn't export the settings from the program, it's a blank one. And when it goes to connect to the box, it can't just like load the current config on the box. If I tried to connect to it, it's like, I'm going to wipe it. It's literally, that's its only thing. It says like, I'm going to wipe it, or do you want to load a configuration that you already have? And that's it.
Will only let you do one at a time.
Yeah. So I had to redo everything basically.
For the people curious now, what we're talking about is, so if you know what SonarWorks is some software. You will measure your room with a specific microphone, and it will give you a bit of an EQ on your speakers to try and make your speakers sound more flat to your listening environment. And what John is talking about is an actual like hardware piece that you go out of or it goes before your speakers, after your audio interface. So you're going into it and then out into your speakers, and it's giving you some kind of an EQ curve to adjust for your room.
Exactly. And it's basically, I'm taking all the work that SonarWorks does and moving it to just like a hardware piece of equipment. And there's pros and cons to doing it. The pro is you get to have full control of what you want to do. And I don't have to run another piece of software. I can reinstall. I save that CPU. I don't have to have that plugin loaded in my projects.
Right. Yeah.
There's just like a lot of nice little benefits that come with
any
that.
kind of delay you get off of the
no delay from it.
SonarWorks.
Like there is a tiny delay anytime you do EQing. There can be delay that it builds up, but it's so minor,
super quick.
Yeah, but on that, like I get to choose the exact delay. Now here's the thing: like if you had SonarWorks and I had 4 speakers involved, like it handles them as only a 2-channel system. SonarWorks doesn't look at 4 channels and says like, these are subs, these are mains, like I should handle them differently. SonarWorks doesn't know how to do that. It just knows left and right, and this is what I'm going to correct, and that it blankets it. So
interesting. Yeah.
That's where the more difficult challenges come here, and I'm definitely doing some more advanced stuff. I wanted to dig into this because I really want to learn it and then be able to help other people do this, because it seems like this crazy master craft of sorcery that people like don't get a chance to ever see how it actually happens. And like I can say I've demystified it really well for myself.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mountain to climb. That's for sure, to like really understand it.
Especially if you want to, like, if you're a newcomer and you look at the cost of some of the equipment, like the MiniDSP box, like luckily it was only, I don't know, like $100 or $200. But then in order to have analog subs, like my Genelecs are digital, which is a little less common. I mean, you're going to get that if you pay like $5 to $10,000 per speaker, but like when it comes to like more budget friendly monitors that a lot more people are working with, you don't have digital input, so you're working with analog. And these boxes, they're digital only. They do have analog converters in them, but they're not as good, and they actually kind of destroy the dynamic range, I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Not terribly.
Better to go digital though with it.
Well, and the thing is, my subs are not digital, so I had to get another piece of equipment
to step
that
down
converts
or whatever.
the digital out from the DSP into this thing. It's a DAC1, digital audio converter 1. It's made, I can't remember the company, but that was about $300. I think new they go for $400. They stop always $400.
Aha.
Always.
Yeah, but yeah, it's that box right there, and then it goes out to the subs as an analog signal from it, and it's just a really nice 2-channel digital audio converter. So, digital analog.
How much was that?
That one, I think I got that on Reverb for like $250, which was like a pretty good deal.
Okay.
But it's at the end of the day, you start like spending a pretty good amount of money, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can really quickly become like very frustrating. And then you have like measurement microphone.
Yep.
You know, you have other things. I will say one really good middle ground, if you guys want to check it out, is called Dirac, Dirac. They have a program called Dirac Live, and it is SonarWorks' competitor. It is honestly, in my opinion, I wish I would have known about this before SonarWorks, but you can draw in your own curve.
What? Oh, that's kind of cool.
You can go in and edit after it scans.
Oh, that's so
and
nice.
Then MiniDSP, guess what? They make.
Oh yeah, that is nice. You could kind of go in and like remove some like.
You can
maybe
say,
like
I don't want you to correct my
correction.
highs. Yeah.
Yeah, like at least minimize them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Hold on, scroll up a little. Yeah. I'm trying to see a picture of the software. Oh yeah. For audio creatives, keep going. I just want to see a scanned image of like. I don't care about who
Read
uses
this
it.
interview.
All
Maybe
these people that tell
if you
us.
go to menu.
There we
we
go.
go. There we
yeah,
go.
look at that. Like, and the thing is, I don't know if you can tell, but there's so many nodes.
Nodes. Can you just have unlimited or what?
You can. I think it's not necessarily unlimited, but
like
it's
a boatload.
More than you would ever need.
I mean, like
granular.
18 would be sweet.
Oh, this is like 50 or something.
Dope.
It's
Let's
like
go.
50 or 100 at least. And people, I know one of my buddies, Base 2, he uses this, and in conjunction with this and like a little bit of EQ work on his master that he has that also adds additional EQ work or correction, he ends up with like, he has like a perfectly flat
Oh my god.
response. It's insane.
Really?
Yeah. I'll try to get the picture sometime and post it in the
Yeah.
Discord, but it's like,
Base 2.
yeah.
Just come talk to
you guys
us
should check
about
out
it.
Base 2. He's cool stuff. Good guy. Hi, Brandon, if you ever see this.
Mwahaha.
But yeah, they got
He'll
a
be
free
in the
trial
title
too.
on YouTube.
Can totally use any.
We talk about
The
Base
one thing
2.
that's cool is like MiniDSP actually teamed up with this company, and certain boxes that they have, I think it comes with a free license of this software that can be used with their stuff, and it just like they mesh really well together. So if you didn't want to actually like, imagine if SonarWorks sold like a piece of hardware that you could be like, I'm just gonna have SonarWorks run and then just send its stuff to this thing.
Right.
So I don't have to do all the other. I can use this
Ooh,
nice
yeah.
interface.
Multi-channel.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh.
they just keep going. They're like, yeah, we can do it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like we don't stop at 5.1, 5.0.2, 5.1.2.
I found out, by the way.
Just keep going and keep going and keep going. 2 computer licenses with 1. That's what I'm talking about. Tell me the price, guys.
It's actually not that bad. Check it out.
If it's not that bad, then I'm really tempted because SonarWorks is sometimes the most nightmare.
Oh man, this thing is teasing us right now,
Yeah, what is this?
bro.
It's like
Bruv, I pay the internet bill. What's going on here?
I'm trying to buy your thing.
Bruv.
Maybe let it load faster.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
the
a
same.
great part of the podcast.
Doom,
Folks listening on audio, I'm sorry. We're trying to figure out how much this...
We're looking at a circle getting smaller over and
Yep.
over again.
trying to figure out how much this Dirac software cost, and it's not telling us.
That does look dope, though.
It does look dope.
I like the idea of being able to then go back and correct the high.
That is probably my second biggest pet peeve with SonarWorks.
What? Oh, the highs and how it phases things. Yeah.
Yeah, just like not being able to like go in and just be like, I just want to dial this node down. Like just
Just
making
don't
my
correct
speaker
it that
it's
much.
making my speaker stand ring because you boosted this section. I need you to just chill it out.
Just chill.
500 for
Really?
that one.
For the holy shit version.
And
basically.
that's like that's the multi-channel version.
Right.
Yeah, if you wanted that, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the just 2-channel one is
200?
like 2 to 300.
199?
Somewhere around there.
It's reasonable.
Come on, chat.
Do it.
It's always
199?
400, man.
199?
But aside from that, I will say it's the other cool thing with taking control of this whole process. One thing that I've noticed, so once I split my sub from my mains, I then implemented a delay of 4 or 5.5 milliseconds on the mains.
5.5. Wow.
Well, it's to correct the phase
Right.
between the two because of the location of the subs. But when you do that, like naturally, you guys know that like low end moves a little slower than highs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
because it's pressure based.
It's the frequency.
Just the size of the oscillation
it is slower. Yeah, exactly. And so it's common that people actually have to
349. So you might as well get multi-channel.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And honestly, the multi-channel one comes with 2 licenses.
Right. Which I don't know.
So split it with a buddy.
I don't know if this one. Nope. Yeah, this is the only one that comes.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
It's good
almost
to know.
like me and Dave just buy this and just then it's 200.
Yeah,
I could be interested. Yeah,
I would just give it a trial. They have a 30-day trial. So, and I know that for a fact they just came out. The one thing that I was
14
hesitant
days.
about was at first 14. At first I thought that it was only like a plugin you had to run, and I think for the longest time it was. But they just put out for Windows that they have a live, like, what do you call it? Like a standalone one that runs like for Windows Audio to do the same correction.
Cool.
So you can listen to music, and
yeah, that's kind of important.
it is super important.
Because I use my SonarWorks for
Me too.
What I want to know
all the time.
You want to demo other people's music.
Yeah,
And just,
yeah.
like,
You want to
it's
hear it the way you would hear it if you were listening on your DAW.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, does it fix the number one pet peeve I have for SonarWorks? No, when you're that is annoying. That's number 3.
He's talking about a glitch.
Number 1 is when you're scrolling through your sample library. It's not running through the DAW audio, and it's not running through Windows
not
audio.
gonna fix
So
it.
it's not running through any SonarWorks.
It's not going to fix it.
It's the worst. Because you're like, this clap works, and
I
then you
don't-
bring it in, and you're like, nope.
Because
totally different sound.
there's no chain for
It
the
depends.
monitoring
The browser.
of the browser.
Yeah, I don't think it will actually work.
Yeah.
Because it has to be
Bitwig?
inside the main.
Bitwig.
That's
the
what we
master.
need from you, Bitwig. We need a
Wow.
effects chain that you can put on the monitoring channel
Yeah.
for
I'll hop in the
samples
Discord.
and things.
That's
Yeah.
probably a really good. They'd probably really enjoy that kind of feedback. I bet.
Honestly, I
That would
was
be
following
epic.
up on the Bitcoin Discord. It's actually, I don't think it's truly an official Bitwig. Got crypto on the mind.
It might
Bitwig.
not be.
It's not. I asked them, and it is, but it is run by a bunch of people who are very heavily affiliated with them, and they do sometimes get their voice across to them. I will say, best way that I've heard, and I've asked like a couple of different people and looked at forums, send them an email.
Yeah.
And just give them a detailed analysis of why, and that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
Right now.
I mean,
I wish they had like a
more
Reddit
and
type
more-
forum where you could just like upvote features, and
Yeah.
Bitwig, please do that.
Yeah.
That'd
Also
be great.
sponsor us.
Sick.
I'll change the color to orange.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably just should.
Oh, yeah.
Just start like leaning into
Just
the
start,
Bitwig
just
colors.
like do it.
Look,
and
we
then-
want a sponsor.
Build it and they shall come.
Is what
Dude,
it is.
how dope would it be to be sponsored by Bitwig? Anyways,
Oh yeah, be messed up.
That wasn't the right
Oh.
one.
that's the right
choice,
one.
though.
That was the right one. So,
Yeah.
yeah, send them an email. That's a good call because I feel like nowadays more and more people are starting to use
Support at bitwig.com.
those kind of correctional softwares, and it's only going to be a matter of time until everyone starts realizing that, oh, the browser isn't being sonar worked, basically, and I'm having a hard time finding samples
Yeah.
when I'm
Right,
in like
right.
the flow state. 'Cause
That's a huge thing.
it's a huge thing.
You grab a kick, you're like, oh, that kick sounds cool, and then you drag it in, and it's like,
Or it
yeah,
sounds
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're
the
like,
worst
what the
feeling.
or it sounds like shit, and you don't choose it, but that could have been the one.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, vice versa.
well, that's
Great point.
absolutely what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I have a goddamn 80 hertz node that's like, "Duh," like
Dude,
right,
yeah.
right next to my right ear
Interesting.
in my room. It's just fucking the waterfall on that bitch is forever.
All right.
That's hilarious.
Forever. It's annoying.
Yep.
And then if I'm listening to kick drums, we're screwed.
Right, right. It's a Bad News Bears.
Wow,
We-
what a
we
reference, Caleb.
We
Okay.
figure it out anyway, though. We
I used
cue
to
those
say that all the
babies.
That's right.
Get those kicks
100%.
sounding good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, it's good to have you on here, man.
Yeah, no, it feels good. I can't wait till this is all. I mean, as soon as this is done, I've been just itching to get back into the grind. It's been too long.
Yeah.
But
You haven't really been working on tunes?
No. It's literally been just a journey of having to deal with shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shit, so much shit. And like,
yeah.
I mean, imagine if you all of a sudden.
Having to deal with them.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a personal challenge that I put on myself.
Yeah, it's
but
your own thing.
it's how I have to deal with it.
I appreciate you for it, though.
But I mean, the part of it was like I got it all ready, right? And I was working on music, and then my subs went out. How would you feel if you all of a sudden couldn't have any signal from, I don't know, like
A very important
200
frequency range.
200 hertz down?
Yeah.
Is just like gone from your listening, and like it's the morale piece too of just like, I just had this all right. I just did all this. Step back for a sec.
Plus, you're busy.
Yeah.
Like you're
work.
not.
All that stuff,
like actual life
We're
is also
full-time
happening.
adults on the side
Yes.
of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Right.
Literally just hired like
nothing happens quickly.
no. But honestly, like Sarah, I was talking to my partner about this earlier today, and I was like, "Hey, this is just completing the necessary things that I feel I have to do to get myself to where I need to be mentally to be ready for this, to just reapproach it. Because otherwise,
To
these
be
are
ready for
crushing it.
making hard-hitting bangers.
Yeah, I have so many ideas. I've been thinking, I mean, that's the other thing too. I've been building up my modular rack even more,
Yeah. I saw that.
prepping my stuff ready for that.
Big ups.
I got this pedal board that I built up that is now mounted on the wall too. Like next,
It looks sick, dude.
I love it. Yeah, and I got like my Sherman filter bank is just there and at the ready. So like, because that's half of it. I think preparing your space and really being conscious about like what are your flow blockers and trying to remove them as much as possible so that when you are in flow state, you are just moving.
Yeah.
You know, nothing should stop you.
Turn off your phone, folks.
Yeah, turn off your phone, map your shortcuts to your freaking mouse.
Yeah, buy an MMO
Do it.
mouse.
Do it.
Buy an MMO
Have
mouse.
you done it?
No, because I don't have the mouse for it anymore. The one that you gave me, rest in peace now.
R.I.P.
Started doing this thing where, it would just like move on its own across the screen when I was using it.
I have an extra one.
Do you really?
It's the exact same one that he has.
Oh,
yeah. So I just have another one of those.
Fuck yeah.
Although the right click, at least when I was playing video games
It
with
was
it, I
having
would just
some
like I would
issues.
click to like look down the side of the gun, and it would just be like,
Oh, well, I can deal with that.
But-
I don't think I'd like ever right click.
right. I don't think it's
Ever,
whole day right
so-
click.
right. You don't hold a right click.
Well, you don't play
Yeah.
Valorant. You gotta
I don't game, so.
He doesn't have a computer for that.
right click.
Well, you do game though. You'll play like
Minecraft.
with like the
I
boys.
go hard on Minecraft, yeah.
Yeah.
Minecraft is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get that mouse. It's in a box over there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm done.
But yeah, a mouse with buttons
Yes.
for production is
Be
pretty clutch.
intentional about the shortcuts. Like the whole theory behind me and how I choose the shortcuts that I put on my mouse, it's my left hand can handle a bunch of shortcuts. Like naturally a lot of shortcuts get put on the left side of the keyboard,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Control S for save, Control Z, all those things.
B,
But
B.
ultimately there's so
don't
many
know
at a
what B
certain
is.
point that it requires another hand to touch it, and every time you have to take your hand off your mouse, that is like a couple seconds of just potential distraction and hitting the wrong button and stuff. And just like
You do that like 100 times a day for 10 years, that's like hours and hours you're losing.
Forever.
do that 500 yeah
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just took a year off your life, bro.
yeah
Something I've
saving
been
you
doing
time.
that it's not really like flow state inducing, but it kind of just gets you into like a good mindset when you're about to make music, is focusing on the scent of your room.
that's a great one.
Dude,
Do you burn
it's
sage?
so overlooked
That's
just
kinda
in
cool.
general.
I like
Yeah,
that.
sage incense. I just got a
Oh,
wax burner.
incense.
It's actually under here.
Yeah,
a
I'm
great
actually out of incense right now.
Dude, it's so sick, especially now because it's autumn. I have these like pumpkin spice little
yeah.
waxes, and I
Aw.
walk in and I'm just like, oh, it's autumn in
is-
my room, and
It's
it smells
setting
like
the vibe for me.
yeah, right. And you sit down and you're instantly in a better mood. You're just like,
Yeah, because my room usually smells like farts.
yeah, dude, it's a producer studio. It's the spot you live in the majority of like the time we exist. So
It's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be smelling gnarly in there. Producers, step up your fucking.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, stop
Smells.
farting.
Who knows?
Stop farting.
You might bring a
That
lady
poor
in
chair.
there.
Yeah, you
okay?
may bring
Yeah.
a lady in.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah.
And she'll get real unimpressed real quick if it smells like doo-doo.
Yeah, she's not blowing you
Whoa.
if it smells like doo-doo in there.
Dang. No. But she's
It's
blowing.
not going to happen.
But you might still blow the speakers.
John.
There it is.
You should,
Thanks, folks.
Always 400.
honestly, you should make it so that as you hold down the laugh, it just keeps getting like more laughs
And just
to the point it's just distorting.
It just like feeds back and builds and just.
Oh
like,
yeah, it
gets
just keeps getting
evil.
louder the longer you hold it.
But then
I
like
love it.
kind of pitches over time, so it gets
Yeah.
like darker.
I don't know
and
why it
scarier.
went back to that. That was a weird echo effect it did there.
I liked it.
We're professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a
Yep.
professional show.
Don't question us.
Get a wax burner. It'll
Folks.
change your life.
Yeah.
So sick.
What other things can you do? Oh, sorry.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
all right. It was just like the wax burner just came out of nowhere in my brain. They are dope.
what
though.
other things can you do?
What other things can you do for what?
What other things would you do, or do you do today to set the stage for your creative expression?
Oh, I fucking clean it.
Clean?
Oh, that's a great
Keeping it
one.
clean.
Oh
Keep
my
it fucking
god.
clean.
Get a
agree.
disinfectant wipe. Just wipes it down.
not
and you're
just that,
like,
but the desk it can't have like
Clutter.
every time I go to like produce, it's like, all right, get these beer cans out of here. All right, get the like light remotes, put them over there. Like just do whatever I need to do to make sure the desk is just like the keyboard, the mouse, my water bottle, and like that.
I feel like lighting.
Like that's really Oh yeah.
lighting is
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest
Lighting?
one for me.
Yeah, the
Oh my
vibe of the
God.
studio's got to be pretty on point.
Dave, I'm
I
gonna
don't
get you
do
into
shit,
RGB
guys.
lights. I
Yeah,
know
I don't
it,
do-
I don't do
it
shit,
kills
guys.
me.
You're an anomaly.
Zero aesthetic in that room.
I have a very sterile environment in there.
Yeah,
and
Dude,
I
I'll
don't
buy
mean
you
it's
lights.
clean. I just mean there's nothing going on.
It's not dirty though. It's not like you walk in
No,
there and you're like, oh.
I
it's
keep my
just-
desk fairly clean. I mean, there's like incense shit on the table.
I'm just
That's
blown
about
away.
it.
Oh
Well, I
yeah,
mean-
you'll do the incense here and
I
there.
like some incense.
Yeah.
I think you got 2 monitors. That's
Yeah,
worth
sure.
mentioning.
Yeah.
Having 2
Sure.
screens.
Yeah, I have
That's
2 screens.
That's a game changer. When I got my
I
second
have
screen.
a
Oh my
a
God.
keyboard sitting here.
Just wait till you get
I
4.
got an electric drum kit
Yeah,
behind
get your
me.
drum kit. Yeah.
You know, I got things.
It still blows me away though that you just have like
I just haven't done
a light
anything.
that's like
I
the
have the
normal
shittiest
light
light
in the
in
room.
my
Yeah,
studio.
it
Like,
blows
it's
my
awful.
goddamn mind.
It's awful.
Yes, it's
I
okay.
don't want to be bothered to go to the store to get a light, guys.
Dude, I'll get you one for your birthday. I'll get you some
Dude.
strips for your
Well,
ceiling. I'll set them up
shit.
for you.
Well, a year from now,
Austin's
Well,
gonna be stripping for you.
I'm gonna have a light in my room.
I was bothered like immediately. I was like, all right, I need to get 2 lamps.
Yeah,
I need to get
Caleb's on
I need
it
to
over
get
here.
LED
I mean, look at that
lights so I
sweater.
can change colors.
Yeah.
You know?
I need a bunch of LED strips
Oozing swagger.
and I need the Mater Baiter.
what is
you know?
that?
You don't know what the
You
Mater
do
Baiter
Oh,
is?
need a Mater Baiter.
You know what the Mater
saw
Baiter is?
that.
It's legendary.
I did see that. They also made one for the caterpillar from Bugs Life.
Yeah, I know. I saw that one too. I was like, oh, TikTok, now you're just giving them to me.
We'll tell you later, John.
I was gonna say I literally have no clue what you're talking
We'll
about.
tell you later.
Yeah, we'll tell you
I
later.
stay
We'll
off.
show
I
you.
stay pretty far away from social media.
Stay
That's
frosty,
probably
folks.
for the best.
The only
But,
place
yeah.
that matters is TikTok, obviously.
Yeah.
Another big one
Instagram is trash.
Sucks now.
is making sure I have everything else done that I need done.
Like no other concerns for the day.
Yeah, like in general, like if it's a bill, like that's relatively fine. But if I need to like edit the podcast, or if I need to do my laundry, or if I need to like go to the bank and cash a check or whatever, or if I need to go to the grocery store, it's like
Let's get it out of the way.
it just sits on my
It's
brain
not
the
gonna,
whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I can't
Totally.
fucking think.
You have
I
this like
just-
stress on your shoulders, weight on your shoulders.
The only thing is working out, which that just because that's the afternoon thing because I want to shower. So that it can get put off pretty easily. But the moment it turns 2:00, I start fading quick because that's when I'm like, I got to cook dinner. I want to like do these things because they're all just like normal, important things. But man, if I can get everything set up by 10, like a.m., I can get like 6 hours in
nice.
and cruise.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
actually curious about that. Like, is there a particular time of the day that you always feel like is the moment that you're being most
Morning.
creative? Like, what time?
3 in the morning. or 2 in the morning.
I wish.
1 in the
No,
morning.
like
the later the better.
7:38. Like as early to me waking up is the best.
Wow, you get your most creative, best ideas.
Yeah, because there's all this weird juice. I'm like not all the way there.
I like
the weird juice.
An 11. I like an 11
a.m.
Like, I like to wake up late, like 9 to 10, have some coffee, have a cigarette, and then I'm in the studio. And I take my time on those things. And then I'm in the studio, and then I can really burn a good bunch of hours after that. I can cruise.
Yeah.
For some reason, I fall in the exact same category as you, Austin.
Oh, really?
Like 2 and 3 a.m. seems like the golden hour for me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that.
I don't know why. It's
so
just
unfair.
like you're so zoned into something, and then all of a sudden you blink, it's 4 a.m. and you just made this like
No,
crazy
you blink
thing.
and you're in bed.
Yeah.
No.
I think for me, it's something about like
not this.
Not
like
us.
the
We're
entire
weird.
world is asleep, and just like you're really just you in your studio alone.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of different because I can't like completely full on blast my shit, even though sometimes I do. And I'm sorry, guys, at 3 in the morning.
I don't hear
Nobody
anything.
And I know no one
knows.
cares, and even notices, I guess. But yeah, like living alone in that kind of environment, or like when we finally get our warehouse and we can just like, I can just boost shit at 3 a.m. Oh my God, that's going to be.
Me and Austin were actually talking about this earlier, like the romantic idea of producing at night. To me is fascinating. Like I want to be able to be at 3 o'clock in the morning with just like me in darkness producing techno. But one, I can't produce in darkness. Like my eyes die quickly because the screen is just so bright, and I'm like, oh, I need lights fast, and I'm asleep by 9.
Yeah.
Like I cannot do it. Like maybe later when we start playing shows more consistently, and I have to kind of shift the circadian rhythm over a little bit.
If
then
we
it would
were
be
full
different.
time, maybe late would be the better spot.
Fuck.
But
And then what we were also saying though is like there is a beauty of being the morning producer.
For sure.
Because you are like lively and like, the sun just came up, people are getting their shit started.
Yeah,
and,
there's
like,
a weird thing
Yeah, there's something about that.
where when you're grumpy, like you're grumpy to like other humans, like if there was another person to be like, hey, can you do these things? I'd be like, it's so early in the morning. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
Great face.
But like that vibe in your brain with like a cup of coffee and not knowing what's going to happen in the DAW makes weird choices happen.
also the knowledge that it's the morning and you get to make some beats
Forever.
is
Everything
like
is
a
like-
really great time.
Yeah, and
Because
you're
it's
like,
a
I have
rare
all
one.
day.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a Saturday, it can happen, not as likely as like a Sunday where you've had like your Saturday already to kind of like adjust to not working. And then the Sunday is like, okay, now we go and grind. And then
And then the day
easy.
disappears.
I think
Yep.
for me, it's like I get so
What gets you in the
lost-
headspace?
I get so lost in the sauce, and then all of a sudden, I'll just strike a thing. Like it'll be this grind,
Oh,
and then all of a sudden, it's like, boom, like hits it really hard.
Right.
And it usually is around. It's almost always at like
What
between
time do
1
you start?
and it might be around like. Sometimes it might be right after I get off work. Sometimes it might have been like 3 p.m. So I don't know. I've noticed there have been times where, I mean, when I wrote Splatterpunk, it happened overnight.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Not the whole song, but it was definitely
Like
like
the
main
job.
You're like
it was like a
Poon
good
without the
60.
booze.
It's like it was like 60 or 70% of it just like appeared right just over the course of one night. And it was like, I remember just being like, oh, it's 9 a.m. I got this dope tune.
You're like, wow.
Wow.
I got to go to work.
I didn't have to
Yeah.
work the next day, but I
Okay.
definitely ruined my sleep schedule.
See,
Of course.
my brain
Was it worth it?
Of course.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that song slaps.
my brain once
Yeah.
it reaches like 10:30 or 11, even if it's like the weekend, my brain like already knows. It's like, hey, stop working. Nothing else is going to happen. The sooner you go to bed, the sooner we can get shit done in the morning.
Right.
And then I'm just super stoked to go to bed.
Granted, also for Caleb and I, and probably Austin,
Now,
unfortunately, Caleb, we're ripped at night. We're smoking weed.
Oh.
yeah, that
It's
does
like-
that does put me down a
It's
little
does
bit.
change
doing
things.
it's weed on top of also
A work day?
Having already worked, expended a whole bunch of energy, and then you're trying to find that like last chunk at the end. And yeah, it's fucking rough. I've had like a really, really nice schedule recently where I've been getting off of work a lot around like noon and 1 and 2. And that's great. I could actually get some work done when I get home from work if I'm getting home that early. But until then, man, it's rough.
Yo, Jet, welcome back, homie.
Yo.
Good to see you again.
We miss you too, man.
Yo.
Oh, is that what he said? Aw.
We met this guy at Kyle and Kat's after party, wedding after party.
Nice.
Yeah, that's sick.
What's up, my dude?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hit us up on Discord.
Oh, I don't think I met him that night. That's cool, though. What did you say? Oh, yeah, smoking weed. So that's another thing that will either be hit or miss for me. What I've noticed, weed, yeah. I have to wait. So what I've noticed is, like, when I smoke weed, I get, like, 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half of, like, really sick, like, intense focus and, like, everything feels good and sounds good.
Right.
And then everything else after that, like, exponentially just decreases in
it's being
productivity and just, then I just get stoner brained and I'm like...
That's why you keep smoking.
But see, it doesn't do it for me. I get that like 1 hour window, so I have to save that for like the very end of the day.
Sure, but
or just don't smoke.
Think of it like a hot air balloon. To get it all the way up there, they don't just turn it on once. You know, you gotta keep cranking it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, you know what? You do that enough,
Careful,
and guess what? You're high.
Icarus.
You're really high.
Sure, but then it's almost
You
like
know
the same
story of
thing.
Icarus, though.
Of course I do.
Okay.
I don't.
Hey,
Well,
I'm trying to test out this Icarus theory.
Hey, with
Yeah,
weed,
yeah.
you'll fall asleep before you get that high.
It's true.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah, or lose your mind. It happens.
So, Austin, really quick, the story of Icarus is it's basically
You don't wait.
he didn't know.
I don't know.
I'm just
Please
saying,
continue.
but he basically flew so high that he got too close to the sun and burned his wings and fell. And died.
Oh, I do know that
Yeah,
story.
he wanted
I
to
do
fly
know that
so
story.
bad that he
wanted to
built
fly.
wings.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everyone was like, "There, you learned how to fly." And he's like, "It's not enough."
Yeah.
Icarus like to get high as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Icarus be fucking. He's like eating an edible. He's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
chiefing.
Dabs.
dude.
He's choking, dude. He's
So before we get too far gone from the topic, what are some ways that you put yourself into the headspace? or flow
Definitely
state?
the clutter piece.
Yeah, it's
like
huge.
having too many things around.
John takes this one to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Too much.
strict organization going on.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean it's important. I mean, also I think it's important to also point out that clutter inside the computer,
Agreed.
file organization, absolutely key.
I mean, look at this desktop right here, dude. It's gorgeous.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
clean.
And that's
It's
almost
not
too
like
much.
anybody else
Yeah,
can
like
see
to me,
that,
I would have
but-
deleted those.
Yeah, those have just been added in the last like 2 weeks, so I got to get rid of them.
Totally.
It's the new
I
update for
understand.
Tractor.
I understand.
How do you even work with those up there, dude?
I don't know. What
You
I usually
heathen.
do,
Oh my god.
you guys
It's
can see over
crazy
here.
how you can
You
pull
talk
it
to your
off.
mother with that background?
These are what
Also,
I do.
Jet, fire away, my guy.
Yeah,
I
please.
have
Fire the
folders
questions.
that have everything.
We've
Yeah,
been
ask a
waiting for
question,
the
yeah.
moment where chat actually fucking talks to us about questions.
They're hitting us with questions constantly.
Yeah,
all the time.
all the time.
Dude, we're just like choosing to ignore them, man.
Yeah, we're too cool for you guys, so
So I'm a guy who lives in the Philippines.
swag.
Nice.
Go on.
Okay. Sweet.
I'm listening.
Piqued
I'm
my
listening.
interest.
Oh wait. While we're waiting.
Welcome.
That's it.
Welcome. I'm a music producer, singer, and songwriter. I'm a guy who lives in the Philippines. Can I ask a question? So, I'm reading it backwards. I don't know if you saw that. I'm a music producer, a singer, a songwriter. My name is Jet. _05.
Let's go. Oh, there it is. I'm so
And
happy
it's
we
been
finally
my
got to use the
wish
song.
to become an
Never happens.
international big music artist since I was 12. Let's go. Until today.
Until today.
What happened?
Today? Literally today?
Wow.
What does it say?
He hit us with the...
What does it say?
This sounds very scripted, but I'm going to keep listening.
I mean, he might not be very good at English, so maybe
No,
he's
it's fine.
translating.
I was just saying until today.
So what's your advice?
He's been working with huge artists since he was 12? Is that what it says?
No. He wants to become an international big music artist.
Okay.
Since he was 12. Okay.
Oh, since he was 12 up to today is what he's saying.
Okay. Okay.
Till today. Fuck me.
I thought he was about to say,
There's
like,
the translating.
over.
There's the translating.
So what's your advice?
I think the biggest thing to say, having had a chance to have like my own music played by my personal like idol. I mean, I got, if you know of Tipper, he actually had reached out to me and played some of my music, and it was definitely like a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
That's not the noise. That's what I was looking for.
There it is.
But honestly, the way that this all came about was literally I tagged some people in Instagram on a video.
Jade?
Yeah, I tagged
That's
Jade,
where it all
Cicada,
started.
and Tipper, and then people started
This is
noticing.
But you had
Okay.
already put in
Yeah.
time to
I had
make
put
your
in
craft.
shit tons of time.
Yeah, like over 10 years,
I've
right?
been, I mean, I'm
17.
like nearing like 18 to 20 years of music producing. And that's on top of like having played piano a bunch in my past before that. So like music, it was definitely like in my blood for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, we got to cook this portion in. This is like the key portion.
Yeah,
the
this
Instagram
It's
is
just-
not the really
It's not the big
thing.
piece. Do not lean on Instagram. Do not expect social media to take you to the top. The
No.
real thing that needs to take you to the top is yourself.
Yep.
The music that you make. And you should also, I mean, I can't remember what, I think it was Dr. Dre that had something to say on this when he was talking about when he found Eminem. And it was like, it was something about how like I think he got to hear a demo. What? What's good?
Just
I was
jokes that were happening
Feel
in
the
my
jet.
head.
No,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No. I didn't know if I missed something. It's really just a matter of like, you got to make like 40 songs that you think are good for like one to actually be good. You have to have that expectation for
Yes,
yourself.
yes,
Do not get cocky.
yes.
Stay humble.
Preach.
Yes.
Preach, baby.
Mm.
Basically, you have to kill your babies.
Yeah.
You have to continuously
Lord.
kill your babies. Amen.
Be proud of what you make.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Put
do
your
that.
hands on him.
Something that's been really big on my mind. What's going on now?
We're
Are we having a
talking.
moment?
Put his hands on him.
Yeah.
Preach.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Something that's been really big on my mind that the three of these dudes actually kind of like drilled into my head is the idea of like the slow burn career where you don't have to like rush into something.
Do not rush.
Yeah, like it's so easy for everyone, no matter what age, how long you've been doing it, to like you want to be fucking headlining Red Rocks, you want to be the fucking, Billboard, whatever, and all this, and like let things happen naturally, let things evolve, like let yourself evolve,
It's okay if you're 30 and it still hasn't happened, because it happened at 31 for me. It was like, it literally takes time, and sometimes it doesn't happen right away. Like it's a matter of really just developing the relationship with yourself that you're totally happy writing infinite numbers of whips and trying to finish them on your own. And that's the part of happiness. That's what brings you your happiness, having the goal of making this, I think it really is something that gets over romanticized, of like stardom, spotlight, attention. It really is like forced down our throats because of social media and our culture. But the reality, and I've been able to actually see it firsthand of the people who have ended up in these positions, who are in the spotlight, and holy shit, what an interesting, different perspective they all have on it. They're all super humble for getting where they are. They understand the odds of any of them being there. None of them. Who is this now? Who we got?
Oh, yeah, who's that?
Yo.
Magic Mud? Majestic
What up,
Mud?
Zach?
No.
Nope, hook line.
Oh, Hookline. What's up, Zach?
But yeah, big picture thing is like grind,
Grind.
and
Grind.
be happy with what you make. Believe in yourself. I think also it does make don't put other people's comments and expectations on your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's great to use others to provide feedback, but
take it with a grain of salt.
beware. Yeah, honestly, I was in an interview the other day, and there was some feedback. We were going back and forth. This is not related at all to like audio, but one of my colleagues was giving some feedback, and he mentioned the 80-20 rule when it comes to feedback. And
Zipf's law.
This is an interesting one. He basically said a lot of people tend to ask for feedback when they're 20% done. What they really should be doing is asking for feedback when they're 80% done. And the reason that this is an important thing to think about is when you show somebody something that's only 20% done, there's such a large amount of ambiguity and unknown to the thing that any piece of information that anybody else might share is going to completely change your perception and creation. If you show somebody something that's like 80% done,
it's not going to skew it.
You've presented a
You're
concept.
basically there.
You've presented an
80%.
idea.
Yeah.
A real idea.
80%'s there.
Yeah.
It's just like now we're nitpicking on, EQ moves and random things like that.
Yeah. Or maybe they're like, hey, you could mix up the progression a little bit, but you got the stage is set, the vibe is here to a degree. Like, it becomes their input is more in support of what you've created, as opposed to like if I said, hey Dave, should I start a company? And you're like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I was thinking about maybe like selling lawnmowers and
it's a bad market.
It's tough out there. They got the computer chips. So it's hard to buy them right now. They don't start.
My lawnmowers are biological lawnmowers.
Biological lawnmower. Nice. Some goats.
Yeah.
Horses.
Where are we going? Where are we going with this point?
Nothing. It's the fact that like it's such an open-ended concept that what the fuck is it? It's not a business plan.
To boil it down,
Yeah.
kind of to wait to in the same lane of what you're saying.
As well.
My rule of thumb is the person who works hard will always surpass the person with talent. If that person with talent in this scenario is not working hard.
Okay.
Because you can have all this raw talent, but there's going to be a guy who's grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And when he shows up, guess what? He's fucking packing heat.
It's the work ethic. Yeah, the name of the game is you have to be better. You have to be better.
Yeah.
Period.
Like actually better.
You
not
actually
like,
have to
in
be
my
better.
head, I deserve it.
So
like, no, just be better.
You're coming from zero, right? And the person that you want to be better than.
Oh, welcome, homie.
Welcome.
What's up, G?
What's up, G?
What's up?
Do
Oh, is
better.
that
Do
the
better.
G?
Amen,
I love it.
G.
Do
Yeah,
better,
G.
be better.
What's up, G? I haven't met you yet, but I'm the other roommate. Sorry, Dave. Continue.
Yeah, you literally have to just get yourself to the point where your music is better than the people's music that you love and want to be like. And it's a tough hill to climb because they're already there and you're nowhere near there. Correct. So now you have to sit there and just pound your fucking fists against the wall for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's years.
And be honest.
Tons of years.
It should be a lifelong endeavor.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You're making art. You're learning a craft.
And should be passionate. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're going to get tired of it and you're not going to go all the way.
You can't.
And then you're going to be like, oh, my dream's dead. It's
And
like,
that's-
well, you got to put in the chips.
That's honestly why I'm totally fine with this amount of time that I've been not making music, which
Totally.
sounds so
Yeah.
weird. It's because I know it's a part of me, and I've been doing everything to just. It's kind of like you move to a brand new property, and you're like, "Fuck, I have no house to live in."
You got to
It's
build
blank.
a quick house.
You gotta build a house. Guess what? Before you can live in it, you need to build a house, and so I've been building a studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna live in that studio till I die.
No, you're not.
And at this point, it's like your finest studio.
Anyways.
It's like your highest potential, or not highest potential.
It's definitely the biggest project I've ever taken on in my life.
Yeah. It's a huge
I
thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud
think
of
you could
it.
do better.
Yeah.
I can do better. You're right, and that's the thing. I agree.
I know. Me
Yeah.
too. I'm already.
We'll get there. We got time.
I'm already
You guys are in
basically
your
ready
30s.
to move.
Like you got fucking so much time.
Thanks.
So much time.
So, quick question, just to
oh
pivot.
wait, sorry, real fast. G
Oh.
just subscribed. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
I was about to point
Oh.
that out.
You are literally our
Yeah.
second subscriber ever.
Welcome.
So thank you. Sorry, John.
No, I was honestly gonna point that out.
Oh, okay.
Say thank you.
Start
Yeah.
that hype train, bro.
Gee,
Know what
you're
I'm
the
saying?
man.
Can I get an F in the chat? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to do. Oh yeah. All right.
Wait, which?
Yes, we got
sound like a fart.
It's always 400.
You guys should add the bump bump ba boom sound to this from Price is Right when
Price
people
is
get it
Right.
wrong.
That'd be a good sound.
Please,
That'd be a good one.
please add it.
We have that one.
I know you
got
got
that.
that one.
Where's the? No, we have. Is it in here? And it's super fast for some reason.
It's too fast. All right.
Some gabber shit. Dude.
So, so to kind of change the pace.
And we're back.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're back. Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit, and we can totally leave this topic as well, but perceived loudness.
Oh yeah. I'm down.
Thoughts?
My initial thought, have you heard of Unfilter?
I've heard of it. I looked at it and watched like a video or two. Was probably 3 or 4 years ago, though. This is made by Synaptic, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, folks, I'll bring you over. Real queasies. Come here. Come here. All right. So, this thing right here, the weighting, it goes from like 0 to 1 or whatever. You basically just move it up and down. And at 0, it weights it at a flat. So
it's trying to force any signal into this curve?
Basically. And
Does it do it through like kind of a spectral-ish?
I don't know. I haven't watched
You
it
would
enough.
think, right? Some kind of like...
That's what I'm thinking,
Okay.
too. It sounds a little spectrally. But when
That's
you
cool.
turn it up to 1, it weights it on a Fletcher-Munson curve.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I just watched this today, and so when you brought that up, I was like, oh, I got to let them know about this thing, which I'm going to try and see if they have a trial or whatnot, to see if I can see if I can't, Oh, look,
they
it's on
have
sale.
a try button right there.
Yeah, they have a
you
try
can just-
button right here.
Yeah, we can use that.
Where's the torrent button?
Yeah, where is it? It's missing today. It's weird.
Torrents.
I'm just
What's
kidding.
a torrent?
I don't know.
Is it like a hat?
I don't know how to use those things.
I'm too scared of viruses.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing's
that's so
sick,
funny.
and it has that, which I'm intrigued to fuck with. I want to
So, a way that something I've been doing a lot with plugins like these, I love forcing and sort of extruding all of the qualities of the plugin out of it. Like, I know that you guys have seen me throw a lot of OTTs in a row on things, but this is a great example of like what happens when you do something to help kind of expose the algorithm behind it, and then like use plugins like that do upwards compression to basically expose its innards auditorily, so you can hear.
right, you're gutting it.
Yeah,
It's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
so I'd be curious, like once you get that into that position where you can it's starting to expose it, then what I would do is I would like run signal through it and start playing with automating each of those things across all the instances of it
Right,
at the same time.
and it's 7-band, I want to say.
I'm more of a 6-band kind of guy, but I'll settle.
You're simple, fuck. I'm just kidding. I love you.
But yeah, I was watching some guy. He had just a normal drum break in there that was fairly dark, and then he ran it through this with
Nice.
like unfiltering it, quote unquote, and it just like brought out all this super brightness, and it was pretty neat.
Quick note on that, like if that's like right when I would use Spectre.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
That's what I
if
use
anyone
Spectre
here
for.
doesn't know about Spectre, it's probably one of my favorite plugins. Spelled with R-E, not
Spectre is-
E-R.
Legit.
But this plugin is, it looks like an EQ.
Got to get that Transient Shaper too.
Yeah, I know, they just came out with one. It looks sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
gross.
cool.
Also, what's the other? It's a wave shaper Rift. You were
Yeah.
telling me about. It's on Splice, folks, for $4.99 a month.
Oh, snap.
Really?
I'm about to get
Splice.
it. Yeah, I'm about to start paying for that.
Get
shit.
that
I might have
Rift.
to get a Splice
Yeah,
account.
yeah, it's legit. Anyways,
But
go on, Spectre.
yeah, Spectre, it looks like an EQ, is actually saturation. The beauty about this, and because a lot of people that I first show this to, they usually think like, well, I could just use Saturn or some other multiband saturation plugin.
Different.
There's something special about the way this thing works. It's so transparent. It's so like, it just butters the sound. Yeah, it just butters the sound with the saturation. It's doing like an interesting. They figured out how to do parallel, because that's how it loads. You see the bottom right mix knob. It actually loads as parallel.
Right.
And you could also, what's cool is you can also listen to only the saturation. So once you start bringing signal in, you can. It's basically soloing only the pieces you bring up. And I haven't had a chance to explore modulating this stuff a lot. Like I would love to do that.
Yeah. Can you put it on a rate of pitch?
Yeah.
Hertz.
Totally. You can. I've done it. I've like done very in like beginnings.
But it'll work fast.
Yeah.
Without any kind of breaking or
like
aliasing or anything. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, at least like when I was doing the one thing that I noticed is sometimes on the older
fucking automating.
Okay, we'll stop.
Annoying.
This is not an ASMR channel. It's your other podcast.
Yes.
Maybe it's not to you.
It's your other podcast that we don't talk about.
All right, you're right.
Anyways, but this is
12
trust
o'clock.
me.
Feet? What? Did I miss something?
Mace, do you not know about the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm joking with you guys, obviously.
Right.
I know what's happening.
All right. What we got in the chat? I feel like we're missing stuff. See transients. Transient
Master's nice by native. It's super simple for the people with smooth brain like me. It says GS music.
Oh, come on.
He likes to refer to himself as
down
smooth
like that.
brain.
Yeah, he likes to think it's smooth
honestly,
brain.
Transient
That's
Master
funny.
is great.
Transient Master is great.
It is great.
If you go to Bitwig has a nice in-house Transient Shaper.
Transient control.
And it's it's fucking
Wow.
it's like probably one of the best transient things I've used besides kilohertz.
Yeah,
Kilohertz is still my favorite.
Really? So kilohertz is your favorite transient shaper?
Yeah.
Favorite
Kilohertz.
transient shapers?
Yeah.
I just
Kilohertz?
use the Bitwig one.
For sure.
Bitwig one. Okay.
I like kilohertz.
Just the speed on the
I love the
But-
SPL
Kilohertz.
one.
I mostly use.
I've only ever used 2, so I
I don't
don't
I have like
really
6.
say,
I have too many trans. Oh, dude, no.
6.
Honestly, best transient shaper is Spliff.
Oh, I have that. Yeah.
Spliff.
Wait,
Wow.
isn't it Spiff? It's by the same guys who make Soothe, right?
It is Spiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a glue
Is it the
compressor,
best?
guys.
That's a transient shaper?
Yes.
It's a
parametric.
yes. That's the
transient
word. I was like,
shaper.
what's the word for that? It works on
Oh my
frequency.
God. I want this.
What?
That's
a
transient.
thing?
I mean, I have this.
I'll give you the trial.
I feel like that'd be cool for snares. You could give it like
I'll give
clunkiness
you-
in the
I'll
right
give
spot.
you the
The
trial.
trial.
I'll
Yeah.
give you the trial.
I still just want the new one, the transient shaper. What is it called? If you go to
Quantum?
plugins right
Is
there.
it blunt?
In the
Quantum?
channel you're in right now.
Is it
right?
Quantum?
No, it's not by these guys.
No,
Oh,
is it?
it's not?
No,
No.
It's Waves Factory. We have to go back to Waves Factory. But is it Quantum? I think it's
Yeah,
it's
Quantum
Quantum.
is the name
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
You know what? Another plugin.
That thing looks so epic.
Have you guys heard of Moodle
Mm-mm.
or Modal?
Oh, I've seen
No.
it. I don't know what it is. I have
It's-
seen that though.
It's a really
See,
interesting.
sounds like it has multiple O's.
Yeah, MOODAL.
No, it's MO.
AL. MOO.
Is it 2 O's?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Moodle.
Moodle.
Spectral resonator. We're going through plugins quick, people.
Oh yeah, that's why I know it because
Hey,
he
look.
literally yeah.
You playing with
If
us?
you
Yeah.
want us to go
a
for
little
longer,
bit. It's
Tell us.
give us the plugin and we'll review it.
it's a lot of fun. I can only kind of just make things sound like a resonator, which is cool. It's a lot more fun than like just using Corpus or just using all this stuff. And this is like just a fresh perspective on it.
And it is an effect, right? Not an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like most resonators, like it just is like boosting nodes basically, and like delaying.
Yeah.
I
Not really
am
sure.
personally really curious how the fuck a resonator actually works.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I
even
haven't
is
actually
it?
dug deep into a resonator
I'm
before.
pretty
I
sure.
don't use them that often.
I think it has to do with like analyzing every like slice, and then producing from like an additive perspective, producing a bunch of partials. But I think resonators, they
That
operate
would
a
make
little.
sense.
They operate a little differently. Like some of them do it that way.
I would assume they
Other
could
ones-
operate in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. Some of them generate that way. Some of them, I think, generate with like a saw wave instead.
Right.
I just don't know enough about it, and I think that's something I wish. Oh yeah, this is quantum. I saw this and I was very curious.
Dude, this thing is
Dude,
It's cool because so the idea
You
behind
can
this plugin.
solo
Yeah.
the transient versus the sustain portion,
Yeah, you got
and then you can affect both sides
yeah,
separately.
yeah. They each have, like,
And they have all
bits.
sorts of shit to affect them with.
It's gross. It's super gross.
So you're kind of expected to use their whatever effects are inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, make a
And-
rack if you will.
So
Solo.
my question about what this thing
Right,
does, I get that, like you're splitting it. Like, okay, I'm gonna put saturation on
'Cause,
the
like-
transient and then reverb on the tail.
Right.
Some whatever, whatever it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
My question is, and I've always been curious about this, but so the way Transient Shaper plugins traditionally work, let's like ignore this one because it's a little different. But like a typical Transient Shaper, it's basically watching the audio and kind of like how a compressor works. It's looking for a threshold, and as soon as it passes the threshold,
Yep.
it goes boom,
Almost like a
and
gate.
Instead of like cutting audio or pushing it down, it forces it up, and it has just certain algorithms set in a certain way to make it sound like a transient as opposed to like a compressor or whatever. So it's expanding very
It's grabbing
quickly.
a certain amount
and then bringing it back down
from
to
the
what it
point
was.
that it goes over the threshold, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is it's doing that with audio volume.
Right.
Right.
I watched this awesome stream from Culprit a couple, like 4 or 5 years ago, and he showed it was like the dopest stream I've seen in a long time. He went through like 7 or 8 different ways that you can create a perceived transient with other things than volume.
Whoa.
So instead of automating
okay.
volume like this, imagine if you automated saturation drive, or
Oh,
what if
that makes
volume?
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still gain.
it might be some
Right.
gain,
Some-
but what about when it's not actually gain and it's instead just distortion?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying
Or
is like
pitch.
Yeah.
pitch is one that he showed.
Phew.
He went I can't remember every single mode or method that he was using, but I just remember seeing that. I was like, wow, you really could just use other effects and other ways to maybe create that idea or feeling of a transient.
Yeah. That's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, Shaperbox is awesome, dude. I love it.
That makes me think
Um,
like how many other just like simple things could we just think about
I use
slightly
Shaper
differently?
Box on every project.
My favorite parts about
Same.
Shaperbox, because we got a question in the chat. The question is, do you guys use Shaperbox? If so, what's your favorite part about it and why?
And way.
I do use it for sidechain. I don't bother that much. I don't really bother with the multiband piece on the sidechain, but Shaperbox secretly, I think, has another feature that, like another use case that a lot of people aren't exploring. I know Tom Brennan, Kyoto. Shout out Tom if you ever see this.
Shouts, Tom.
PP gang.
He's supposed to be on. He's supposed to be on this.
Come on the show, dude.
But
Yeah.
basically, one of the things he does, and he helped me kind of realize too, is you can, if you let's say have a sample, you can literally transient shape your signal.
That's
so
what
you
I-
can split the low, mid, high, and say, oh, I want the high frequency
Yeah.
to tail
Yeah.
off like this really fast, and I want the mids to kind of like take their time, and the low maybe you need it to be really tight. It's genius. It's also great for isolating samples inside of a song.
Right. So you
Let's say you wanna pull a
grab
kick
a
drum.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you grab a snare or a kick drum or something, and then you do exactly what you're talking about. You have the high end maybe coming off a little faster, and then the low end is tailored specific, and you go and you just dial it in.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's my sidechain, and it's also the last bit before the limiter on my kick drum. Because I do a bunch of
Last
shit to
bit
my
before
kick
the
drum, and then I shape it right at the very end with that, and I
Nice.
multi-band shape it,
And then you
it
limit.
Nice.
goes into my limiter.
Could
and
I?
it's going into a limiter before that. That's like it's driving into that limiter, but then I have just like another limiter after that for just
Nice.
any little bit, basically just for fun. But
Something interesting that just came. Wait, hold on. What, X for OTT. Sometimes use OTT personally on like that one. I usually use the Ableton one because that's, in my opinion, like it just feels better. It's more ergonomic. Used to.
400's in the chat. Let's
go,
Dubs.
Oh, Bitwig. Yeah, Bitwig is going to be the new move.
Yep.
But, and with that.
Might be back to that Xfer.
I may be back to the Xfer. I also may be,
Dave, that's the second week in a row.
Second week in a row.
That's the wrong one. I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm out of here, guys.
You know what? Fuck this podcast.
Guys, dude.
I don't want to be a host anyway.
No, you can, dude.
I can chug way faster. Prove it.
I actually
bet you
haven't been
can't prove
using.
it, dude.
I haven't been using OTT since I moved into Bitwig, and even in Ableton, I was using it for high end stuff. Although I usually
Spectre.
that or a vocoder, but it's usually a vocoder to like get the kind of like little sparkle I want, or the spectral resonator that Ableton had in the 11. I was fucking with that for a little bit for high end stuff. But then yes, Spectre. But in Bitwig, I haven't been using like any OTT, and I'm having no issues. I'm having.
Yeah, honestly, I will say.
Of course, I'm clipping everything.
I think
like way harder
I
than I
think
was.
the days of OTT are coming to an end, or at least if they aren't, then it's just OTT. It really just it's worked its way into the presence of everything in the music scene right now. I think you should honestly just try to figure out how to
clip it,
do
baby.
it without it.
Yep. I agree.
Like I've been using, like that's why I love using Spectre. It's you can literally
Multi-band clipping and saturation is sick for getting that kind of.
You can get really cool effects with other tools, and you can even just set up compression to create that vibe. You know.
Did you see what Mo said?
You should really clean that wood with the dab and press technique. It is true. It is walnut.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I mean,
it dried up pretty fast.
Do you guys know how old this table is?
Brand new.
I think we should tell them. No, this. Well, I mean, it's new to us.
New to us,
but
at
it's
least.
673 years old.
Oh wow.
Oh, you're counting tree years? Okay.
Yeah, no, this is like Ming Dynasty, dude. Yeah, like really fucking old.
Oh wow.
Like halfway through last century.
That's why you paid so much money for it.
And that's why it's like indestructible.
3 years.
Dude.
Yeah.
Ha.
Tree years, dude.
It's 3 years old.
So John, I'm gonna put you on the spot on this one a little bit.
No.
It's not bad. It's not. I don't know. I'll just do it. So something we've been talking about a little bit vaguely is
Whip it out.
shut up, Dave.
Sorry.
Me and Dave had this conversation a while ago, and Caleb too. We were trying to figure out more ways you could use the idea of sidechaining creatively outside of just volume control. Like, what if you had some sort of trigger? And I guess it's not even sidechain at that point. It's just triggering.
Actually, I was listening to a Detox Unit song the other day, and pretty sure I actually messaged Joe asking him if he was doing what sounded like sidechaining, and he said no. But I'm still like calling bullshit. I think he is doing sidechaining in a certain spot because I just kept listening to him. Like, no, the signal's definitely getting quieter when this one thing's happening.
Okay.
And something that I noticed that, like, at least it made the idea. If he isn't doing it, then I might want to consider doing it myself. Sometimes you have a part in a song where you want to introduce a sound. Have that sound sidechain everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe just for that moment.
Out.
Right, just for the intro of it.
Or just during that build-up. Or when everything kind of breaks down and it's getting chill and you're like, you want to make that one sound talk to everybody. Like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And like, it makes it all pulse. You have that, but
Throw a little track
also,
spacer on there and just
Yep.
link her right up.
Yep.
And everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
comes
cool.
back.
So it sounded like he was doing that, but he wasn't actually doing that.
In
fun.
well, I don't know, and that's the thing. I will get to the bottom with him at some point.
Yeah.
I believe he was because
Like, dude, right here, I
was
can
listening.
hear it.
Yeah, I'll just like be like, hey, next time I hang out, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna play this part. You're telling me that's not sidechain. Then what the hell's wrong with my ears? Because it definitely
volume
pulses.
automation.
Right.
Which then I'm be like, yeah, exactly. It
Which
could
is
be.
still sidechain. It's just manual sidechain.
Exactly.
Or acoustic sidechain.
Yep.
If you're G.
But yeah,
So
is that like
Big
an
ups, G.
example that is that what you mean?
Yes.
What other
yes,
things?
in a
like,
way.
Totally.
I guess
That's totally it.
that's how it started. That is a sick thing. Use something other than your kick and bass to sidechain.
Yes.
Great example.
Which I mean,
I guess-
commonly in just production in general, people do that with vocals all the time.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yep.
That's like the entire
Classic.
reason sidechain was actually invented.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
continue. Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't have said sidechain, but that's how it was kind of like melded into my brain. It's more the idea of just triggering in general. So the way I would
Signal A to another one.
Yeah.
To make something happen.
Yeah.
So when signal A happens,
Something
it sends it
happens.
over here and it does something.
So maybe signal A triggers a phaser into your basses, or a phaser into blah blah blah, or like a comb filter trigger or something.
Right.
I'm like hyped on this idea of triggering, and I feel like there's so much potential, but I don't know how to go about it. And every time I do, it just seems like, well, I could just automate that. Why am I doing it this way?
My world is. It's funny that you say triggering. For me, it's not.
Did I trigger you?
I'm triggered.
I'm not triggered.
Okay, cool.
I was trying to come up with some sort of quirky response. I got nothing.
That's okay.
But really, the thing that I actually do, and I would if in Bitwig, I'm gonna. This is like the whole reason I want to use it. It's the fact that you have that audio in, like audio signal as like direct manipulation and modulation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna basically be looking into all the different ways that I can make one sound literally affect other sounds.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
The waveform will be
Yes.
the LFO.
Or-
you're taking the waveform of the
or
thing.
that thing is,
Wow.
or I'll take a sound
That's
that
cool.
that gets pitched down over like the course of a breakdown, and it keeps going so low that it becomes DC offset signal for something else that starts creating distortion and like caps and clips other things.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
like all those
awesome.
words.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm interested in that.
That's
It's a free podcast,
Yeah.
guys.
Have you been playing with that, or that's just kind of conceptual when you start using
all.
Bitwig more?
These are all the ideas. I got
Nice.
so many ideas around this stuff. Like honestly, one of the things that I can't wait to get into the grid on is I want to build my own additive synthesizer, and then after I get into that, I'm gonna build my own additive synthesizer turning into like a weird distortion module that's gonna just have all sorts of weird stuff going on.
I like that.
Oh.
Got lots of ideas.
I'm excited for the future.
Zach, you said like a gated effect?
We were talking about sidechain triggers and things like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
I think like a fun example of a way to use what you're talking about is like if you had something like the kick drum or a bass channel or set of basses, basically like pushing a little bit of extra saturation on a big group of things at once.
I like
something
that.
like that.
That would
where
be
it
cool.
kinda-
Like every time the
Yeah.
kick
it
happens,
simulates
it just
distorting the
pushes
speaker.
a clipper.
A little bit
Yep.
more, right?
That's cool. That's a great
I
idea.
do like
Yeah,
that
and then
idea,
if you had
actually.
like a ghost trigger for that, just like a little MIDI clip or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like it would make it easier. And then you could have a channel of like, oh, here's like a super saturated one, here's a mid range, and then you could kind of pick and choose
And
which way you want to do it.
See, here's how I would do it in Bitwig comparatively, because like in Ableton, the only way you can get a lot of these things to work together is if you have a MIDI signal just straight up being the trigger, and all a trigger like that kind of a trigger, it's just a ping, like go,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
There's
one or
not,
zero.
there's no like,
It's on,
yeah, it's on
and on,
off.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's no decay.
So then you're
There's no-
fucking with releases.
Right, there's no
and
dynamics.
attacks.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly. You lose the
yeah.
organic
Make it
quality. So
happen.
here's the thing: if you use Bitwig and their audio signal, like there's ways you can treat it.
What's that called?
I can't. I mean, I'm not the one who answered that
Audio
right now.
receiver.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would literally, I could take the contour of not just the kick, but I could also like take the contour of a whole group of instruments, a bunch of different instruments and effects, and make that affecting another group of things. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not down to the level of like
Totally.
I have to wait for that one MIDI note to hit. You know,
Yeah, that makes more sense actually.
that
Yeah.
means like because like you might want a sound that maybe has like a long attack and then aggressive and becomes like an aggressive tone that affects a bunch of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
so with your MIDI situation, you'd never be able to achieve that. But if it was a sound,
Audio receiver right there.
Yeah. And especially if
What
it's
are
a
you
whole
looking for?
group, like the multiple
No,
sounds.
it's not-
That's
yeah.
that's
It's not
cool.
this.
I like
This is
I like
what I'm
this. I want to
thinking
play with
about.
this more because I feel like there's a lot of potential in it.
What do you think?
But then at the same time, it's also just like, am I
called.
just like trying to do it for the sake of doing it? Because like
But
you could just automate it. But
isn't that how and why we do everything we do?
that's a good point. Yeah.
Why and how?
Yep. Exactly. Music
There's
is
a
so
thing
sick.
called audio rate, which is a modulator.
What other ones do we got?
Wow.
Oh, there's.
You
there's
guys
the
got to have the
I just
Owen
have no
Wilson
idea.
wow.
Right, yeah.
And then it turns
We
into
do
like
need the
delays.
We do have a
delays.
whole fourth channel over here with like.
It's
nothing.
called
Yeah.
Replacer.
Replacer.
So you
Replacer.
put this bad boy on an audio channel, and then it takes that audio depending on this threshold, and it turns it into MIDI.
Great.
That's just the thing I was looking for, which is cool. And then you can put stuff in the generator.
Yeah, and
so
see that's
it'll
exactly
just generate. So now you can put phase plant in here.
Yeah, imagine
and now
if
that
you-
audio is doing a bunch of stuff to the phase plant patch.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Or imagine if you had this like on a bass.
Right, because you can
bus or
also
group.
send just straight audio to this. This doesn't have to be on an audio channel.
Yeah, like what I would do is I'd have like a group of basses or maybe like a sub, and while the sub was doing its things, maybe I'd choose something that had more like slower dynamics, like a growing sound or
Right,
something.
right.
But if you controlled like the drive knob and that plugin in particular, while you did that, it had an auto gain feature so that you weren't just like killing your whole mix with this idea. But you could literally just have like one sound make your automation for you.
Right.
I think that doing things that way, it definitely requires a lot more planning and intention. But that being said, like the only way this kind of stuff can even be discovered is by just fucking around and trying to figure it out. Like this is that's the frontier that we're at right now.
You know
a
what?
great frontier.
That's a great way to end it. That's the frontier we're at.
That is the frontier
fucking
we're
is,
at,
dude.
ladies
Space.
and gentlemen.
Yep.
No. Audio.
You know, you head
The
up,
never-ending frontier.
you get on the trail. You know, you come across a few potholes.
Sure.
You know, you gotta repair the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta feed the horses, and you know, at some point, you gotta throw that tent up,
That's right.
and you gotta sleep and rest for the next day. And that's where we're at, folks.
We've been talking for an hour and a half.
What did we say at the beginning? Audiophiliac?
Audio
He's so self-deserving.
Audiophilia. Yeah.
Hey, John.
Give this man an Oscar.
Always.
Go ahead and make that go all
Where
the
can
way.
people find you?
Nowhere right now.
Okay.
Nowhere.
No, I'm just. I mean,
He's
can,
off
you
the
can,
grid, baby.
You can try to find me on SoundCloud
He's
and
on-
We
Instagram.
dare you.
Instagram and
I'm like I've disabled my Facebook and I'm personally
bless.
I'm really staying away
Yeah.
from social media and not planning on doing anything until it's like a lot.
Till it's really time.
Yeah.
That's
Good
the
for
vibe.
you.
I'm
That's
going
sick.
back to the sleeper cell and
That's
and
how
just
you
figuring
think
it
like
out.
a winner, baby.
I like the sleeper.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's how
Thank
we
you,
do
folks. We love you.
Always 400.
Love you so much. We'll see you guys next week. You guys take care, all right?
Shout out to everyone in chat. You guys showed up today.
Love y'all.
That's right. Bye-bye, guys.